Yo, it's the MOPOWERZ, and we are BACKAGAIN on another fantastic sucker-free DAY. And if this is your first time watching the MOPOWERZ, I ask that you share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your conversation. And today's conversation, this evening conversation, just happens to be sad. This is going to be a sad live, you all. Quick question. Let me ask you a question to kick things off. Why do beautiful women kill themselves? Like the woman did in New York City. Former Miss USA. Yeah. Cheslie Corrinne Kryst. 30 years old. 30 years old. Not to mention the fact that her profession was an attorney. She was a lawyer. Beautiful. Had a life that many people are jealous of. Why would she kill herself? Jump from her 60-floor story building in Midtown Manhattan, 350 42nd Street at the Orion building. She was last seen on the 29th floor. And moments after, she was laying below on the concrete, splattered. Her family has no idea why she jumped. She had everything going for her. Don't understand it. This reminds me of a case that happened in Chicago with an R&B singer by the name of Phyllis Hyman. I believe she killed herself back in 91, committed suicide. Tall, beautiful Black woman. She stood about 6'2", 6'3", Amazon. But she killed herself because she couldn't find no one to love her. I was like, she didn't call me. I'm just saying. I was sitting in the VA hospital when I heard about it over the radio. I was listening to WGCI. The whole hospital was actually. Yeah. Came over across the radio waves that she committed suicide, just like Cheslie Corrinne committed suicide. No one knows. It's just a sad story. It could not have been success because she was successful, according to the eyes of many people. And like I said, as in the words of her mother, said that she had a life that many are jealous of. Now, when I stayed in New York City, there were a number of times that I saw people jump off bridges. Yes. That Williamsburg Bridge? Yes. The Brooklyn Bridge? Yes. I've seen people get shoved on the train tracks, on the A train tracks. Yeah. Crazy. Most people who jump from bridges, they have nothing to lose. Their life is in the pits. They living in poverty. This wasn't Cheslie's situation. Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder what happened to that pastor over there in Brooklyn. Yeah. Pastor Tracey Sydnor of the Upper Room Baptist Church. Over there on Rockaway Boulevard. In Brooklyn. Sad. Her son, according to the New York Post, stabbed her 15 times in the hands, in the neck, in the ear. All top shots. All top shots. Her son, Francis, was arrested, and the suspected weapon, which was a knife, bloody, was found at the scene, and he was taken into custody. And according to the police, the New York Police Department, they said that the officers who arrested him said that he just looked like he snapped. Why would you kill your mother? The son of a preacher. The son of a preacher, a pastor, a woman. And speaking of these individuals, let me show you something. Let me show you something before I forget. Right here. Come on. Pull up, phone. I'm trying to show you all images. The first person that I spoke about was the young lady, Cheslie Corrinne. And this is what she looked like. Former Miss USA, 30 years old. Beautiful. There's many more photos of her. You can go through them yourself. Just Google her. But fast forwarding the tape, we're going to take a look at Pastor Tracey Sydnor of Brooklyn. Sad. What would make her son do that? Can anybody give me any ideas of why? That's her there. Tracey Sydnor, the pastor of the Upper Room Baptist Church on Rockaway Avenue. Crazy. Like, how are we being socially engineered? Why were we, as citizens of a country, making detrimental decisions to kill ourselves? Not just adults, but children as well. Children as well are killing themselves. Why is that? Because they can't find no peace. I'm just saying. The society that they've socially engineered has gone mad. People can't even focus on the things that they need to focus on because they're so clouded with what the world got them going through, meaning the politicians, the people who run this country. Sometimes you have to shut that news off and have a quiet moment with yourself and to yourself and reflect and go inside. And if you go further enough and spend enough time, you can know what's going on without even looking at the news. To be honest, we have become a human zoo. We have become a human zoo. No pity, no mercy, but we ask for mercy, but we don't give any mercy. They have made us wild animals. As I stated in a prior video, this world is a prison for the righteous. I'm going to say that again. This world, this social structuring is a prison for the righteous. There is so much wickedness going on, not only with average everyday people, but the people who actually run this place. But these are the people that you trust. But getting back to, I'm getting there. But getting back to the pastor, Tracey Sydnor. Do any of you know anyone that have killed their parents? And if so, did you get an opportunity to ask them why? It's sad when you would kill your parents. That's just not a crime. That's a crime against yourself. How can you murder your first teacher? I understand that some mothers are not all that great, but I haven't seen a child who is the child of a pastor have a bad life. What they say in the comment section, 1968 is called static bliss, aka complete confusion, so you can't pinpoint anything. Exactly. Think that who is that out there? I can't even see who it is. 1968, that's who it is. That was a great year. 1968. Hey, that was a great year. In fact, that was the year before the Summer of Love, which was 69. And I think that 68 was the Summer of Sam in New York. Mad. I mean, like, the society have young children killing themselves, committing suicide. That's the pressures of this world. That is the pressures of this world that is having people to go mad. To go mad. But they continuously tell you that there's a future for you. There is no future. A future of robots. A future of poverty. A future of pain. A future of racial war here in America. And speaking of America, let me ask you a question. Are you an American citizen? Are you an American citizen? I don't care if you're black, white, whatever color you are in the crayon box does not matter in this particular conversation because it involves voting restrictions. Speaking of voting, does anybody know when the right to vote existed? When it came into play? Well, if you don't know, it was a part of the 15th Amendment in 1870. Yeah, of the U.S. Constitution. The 15th Amendment. And it gave the right to all men of all races, of all color, the right to vote. But since then, that voting law has been amended. And it's always some crazy stipulations. Now, you know that it's crazy stipulations when the people who run this country, which are Caucasians, did not give their own woman, the white woman, the right to vote until 1920. And I think that was because of who? The blind racist girl, Helen Keller. I'm just saying. And then another historic time that it was amended, 1965. Yeah, August 6, 1965. Civil rights movement. And that gave what? If it already gave you the right to vote in 1870, why do you need another reformation of the same bill that you made in 1965 if you are an American? Black people, let me tell you something. You are not an American. You are not an American. In fact about it, if Caucasians did not conquer North America, because we was already here, let's get that understood. We was already here. Had they not conquered North America and stayed over in Europe, right? Everybody would have the right to vote. There would be no new voter laws, no voter restrictions. In fact about it, why are they making new voter restrictions? What you say here? We are 3/5 of a person. Yes, that's what they said in the Constitution. We weren't considered even human beings. They even had to amend or refine that. Sad. We still in slavery. The curse of Deuteronomy 28 fits us to the T. The book of Deuteronomy. I like that, the book of Deuteronomy, because when I see that 1968 book of Deuteronomy in the chat, it took me to Deuteronomy 24, where it says that no one shall be responsible for the sins of another. The father should not be responsible for the sins of the son, nor the mother responsible for the sins of the daughter. Every man shall die for his or her own sins. That's one of my favorite quotes in the book of Deuteronomy. Thank you, 1968. But if I'm not understanding you, 1968, what do you mean by that? We're still living in the curse of Deuteronomy. There was a lot of curses in the Deuteronomy that the children of Israel put themselves through. Yeah, if you're not familiar with the book of Deuteronomy, check it out. Check it out. But what got me in the book of Deuteronomy was how Moses, who supposedly was the author of the first 5 books, including Deuteronomy, how did he write about his own death and knew how old he was? I'm just saying. Book of Deuteronomy is awesome. But needless to say, this voting thing, like right now, on CNN and all across of other networks, you have media outlets talking about new voting restrictions. If you are a citizen and they've given you the right to vote, what new voting laws do you need? From my standpoint, it looks like they're trying to make voting harder. They're trying to make voting harder versus easier. In fact, Georgia, in the state of Georgia, it is against the law to feed the voters in line. You can't give them pizza, you can't give them water, or nothing like that. That shouldn't be a shock to you, because they stopped churches who talk about Jesus and give to the poor and help the poor. They stopped them from helping those in need, because churches can't even feed people on streets anymore. Can't pass out water bottles. Churches, Jesus freaks, can't do that. How can you put restrictions on the goodness of God people and what they want to do for people who are in need? They are keeping the so-called Jesus people from going to the sinners whom they're supposed to be reaching. Sad, but true. Just like with this voting thing, you either can vote or you can't vote. You know, you have all of these red states, right, making new laws. Why? I mean, you know why? Because all of them are crooks. All of them are crooks. That's why. They even had the politician, I forgot his name, that senator dude, whose son was making the voting machines. Yeah, in Ohio. And did what? Made the cheating machines. Why do you have to cheat to win? That's sad. But you tell people that we are a Christian abiding country, but yet you have to cheat to win on anything, including law enforcement. They have to lie to lock you up. They have to plant drugs on you to lock you up. They have to plant a gun on you to lock you up. They have to say you're at a red light to even stop you. Their word against yours. I'm just saying, it's all ran by crooks. It's all ran by crooks, yet they want you to meet this requirement, meet that requirement. Like right now, they say that some people are so poor in the state of Georgia, and I'm talking about black folks, okay, in the state of Georgia, that some of them don't even have government issues IDs because they can't afford it. How can you cash a check? How can you do anything without a valid ID? And if they can't afford one, the state should give them one. What do you think about that? The first thing the police do when they stop you is ask you for an ID. And if you don't have one, more than likely, you're going to jail. Many of these critics have said that these are new Jim Crow laws that they are making these restrictions for. And believe it or not, it really targets minorities. What you say here? We are the ones suffering for disobedience as it's time to come out. It is. You're doing good, my brother. Oh, I appreciate that 1968. I appreciate that. Thank you. Gratitude. Gratitude. We've been at 13% of the race for the last 500 years. We've been deceived by the devils with a smile and a suit all the time. Check this out. I'm glad that you said that 1968. If Black people here in America are only 13% of the population, and out of that 13% of the population, we comprise over 50% of the prison population, does your vote really count? If they had it their way, they will lock all of us up. And they don't have to worry about no voting because it won't be many Blacks left on the street. They're already trying to murder us. Murder us with the food, murder us with the water, right? Murder you with pharmaceuticals, pills, right? But they want you to vote for them. Many people vote and have no idea who they vote for. Just like these three women who are in the race for the Supreme Court seat to be the Supreme Court justice. And all three of them, Black women. It is my best guess that some people who live in those states that they reside in, one in California, one in South Carolina, and the other one in DC, many Black people don't even know who these Black women are, yet they want you to vote for them, knowing that many Black people are not going to investigate who they are voting for. What you say? Yes, we've been deceived by the devils. We've been educated by the devils. Which brings me to this question. Will you trust someone who's lynched you, raped you, took all of your human rights from you, who's brainwashed you into a false religion? Would you trust them to educate you? Yet, you're still voting. People say they voted for Joe Biden. Your vote doesn't count, people. It's the Electoral College who elects the president. But the judges, yes, you do. But in this case, he does. He elects who he wants to put in there. And as I stated, is it going to make any difference really for you? Anytime they place someone in position, the last person that I've seen that they placed in some type of political office that really did something for Black people, and I'm just going to say here in Chicago, because that's where I grew up at, but I've been all around the world since the age of 19. And that was Harold Washington. And they killed him. He was the mayor of Chicago, getting things done for Black people in Chicago. And he fought for Black people. And they killed him. The political game is an evil game. The whole system is ran by gangsters. You're voting for gangsters. You're voting for gangsters. What you say in 1968? Tradition has done nothing but held us back. We have never moved as a people here in America. Whitney has always has this input on our race. Hell number 11. Hell. Is the enemy Roman Catholic Empire required to tell us the truth? Hey, Roman Catholic Empire. After all, we are a republic here, just like the Romans were. And the Romans were not required to tell the people the truth because they were deceiving the people. You cannot deceive. There has not been a rule in this last 6,000 years because the Caucasian has been ruling on this planet for the past 6,000 years. That's not even up for debate, okay? For everybody that's out there watching, And in those 6,000 years, there has not been a rule that has not been deceitful in order to rule. Like I said, you have 10%. The 10% are who? The bloodsuckers of the poor. How can 10% rule 90%? Mathematically, logically, it can't be done. But if you manipulate the numbers, manipulate the minds of people, 10% can overpower the 90 because they are being deceived. Just like you're deceived into this voting thing. If you were really an American, you would not have these problems. If you were an American, they would not be trying to make new restricting voter laws. If you were an American, it wouldn't matter if you needed an ID or not, if you have one or not. If you're an American, just think, before government IDs were issued, what photo ID did you use prior to that when you used to vote? But you say you're an American. Now, they don't tell you that they are targeting minorities. No, it's for everybody. But in the end, as I stated, who are the less educated in regards to voting for what party they're voting for? The so-called minorities. And believe it or not, we're just minorities here on these shores, as they say. But worldwide, we are not minorities. Only here in this country that they took. What you say here? Let's see, 30 families rule the whole. Yes, 30 families. In fact, about it, I think it was 33. Did you say 30? I forgot this gentleman's name. It's a video. I'm gonna bring that up next time I do it live. But yes, you say 30. You say 30. I'm gonna bring you some information tomorrow if you are online, or I just drop it to you in the DM, and give you the information in regards to those families that rule the world. You are absolutely correct. But some say 300. Yeah. Now, some even say 12. They call them the Olympians. There have been a number of people who have spoke about how many families rule the world, but this guy says 300. It's the 300 committee. Yes, the 300 committee. Look that up. Look that up and tell me what you think about that material. I even think they threatened that guy's life, just like they did. Well, they killed William Cooper. Talk about the CV-19 lethal needle that they trying to force everyone to take. I'm following up, bro. Oh, the COVID-19. Oh, I spoke about that stuff a lot. Certain things I'm not going to say because they may try to whack me off, but I tell you, I put it to you like this, and I answered it in a question. I answered it. I put it like this. Okay. Will you trust a person who has lynched you, who has raped you, who has robbed you of your entire being, and has transformed you into a nigga, has transferred you from a god to a nigga? Would you trust them? These are the very same people who have poisoned your cereal like Quaker Oats. You see? Check that out. Even Quaker Oats had an experiment. They doing a lot of disservice to us, killing us a whole lot of ways, experimenting on us in a whole lot of ways. But they want you to vote for them. They want you to trust them. They want you to say, get that there. Trust us. It'll help you. But yet and still, you have all of these breakthrough cases. Hell, I know some people right now who had got all the way 360 and they still got it. Yeah. That's just keeping it 100. And if you look up the breakthrough cases that happened in Boston, Massachusetts, it's bananas. I'm just saying. January 4th was supposed to be doomsday because it was supposed to be mandated all across the nation, but that got stopped. But still, you still can't work in a lot of places unless you're actually, you got to be on the team. Because if you're not on the team, well, you're going to starve to death. Many people, once again, malinformed, misinformed about what they're putting in their bodies. They don't have any idea because they haven't done any research. I mean, it's your decision. No one can tell you what to do except you. And if that's how you have to survive, that's how you have to survive. If that's what you want to do, super. If that's not what you want to do, super. Wow, am I refusing? Hey, I'm no longer teaching because I refused, to do what they suggested that I do. I quit. Yeah. Educating children. And they wanted me to do something. I was required by the state to do something, and I refused to do it. So I just quit. I didn't get fired. I quit. Like many other people have done. Doctors have quit. Nurses have quit. Yeah. So the thing is being prepared. The mark of the beast that's written in the book of Revelation, where you can't buy or sell without. Exactly. In the book of Revelation, it says, who will make war with the beast? Who will make war with the beast? I made a video entitled The Mark of the Beast. There's a lot of videos that I made in 1968. Just go down the channel. I have a slew of the Mark of the Beast videos. If you haven't seen them, by all means, I ask that you go review them, share them, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Gratitude. Yeah, you're not going to be able to buy anything. You go into a car lot, sir, we need your ID. Okay. You go in the grocery store. You can't go in the restaurants right now. In certain states, you can't. In Chicago, you can't go in a restaurant. Any public place, you have to have that jab ID. You have to have that jab ID. In the state of Washington, you have to have that jab ID. There's no exceptions. Or you won't be getting into that restaurant. You won't be getting into that event. You won't be able to shop soon. You won't be able to shop. What are you going to do when you're not able to shop? Somebody in your family better have that jab, which somebody in everybody family, just about here in America, had at least got one jab. Somebody better have something, or you better be able to grow your own food. It's a lot healthier for you. Order some seeds. Who is that? Monsanto's? Yeah. The food that they have for you right now, all of the nutrients I took for it out anyway, especially if it doesn't have any seeds. And that's regarding fruit, and veggies. Yeah, I'm following you, brother. This is my first time. Oh, wow. Gratitude, 1968. I'm glad that you decided to stop by and view the video. You could have been doing something else, but you stopped by and viewed the video, the live that we have going on. And I want to thank you for interacting with me in this live video. I really appreciate that, brother or sister. because I can't see who you are. It just says 1968. We came to America and got turned out. Hell, exactly. You know why? Because our ancestors who came over here, they didn't think like we think. Many of them committed suicide. They would rather have committed suicide than to go through the torture of slavery with the Caucasians. And look what they have done to us. Look what we have allowed them to do to us mentally. Right now, if you ask a black student who goes to a black school, he can go to a black school. And I don't care if it's high school, grammar school, even on the collegiate level. Ask those students here in Malcolm X College, junior college, ask them who Dr. John Henry Clark is. They won't be able to tell you. Ask them who Mother Frances Cress Welsing is. They won't be able to tell you. Why? Because they don't educate them with that. In fact about it, they don't even educate them about money. And that's sad. Black people have been miseducated or uneducated about finances. And we don't even teach our children that. Did your parents teach you about finances? Or how did you learn about it? Because you did not learn it from those who don't treat you right. And as in the words of Elijah Muhammad, if a person doesn't treat you right, they won't teach you right. I'm just saying. Thank you for listening. I appreciate that. I really, really appreciate that. 1968. We will be here tomorrow, same time around 8 o'clock, 8:30. Every day we will be doing a live for about 90 days. And we'll see how things work. Trying to get my numbers up. So if you know some people who like positive speaking, and if you like my video, share the video. And by all means, press the subscribe button and ask those whom you share the video with to press the subscribe button and press the notification bell. Because if you don't do that, every now and then you may not get the notification, even though they play with notifications. But thank you for viewing. I really appreciate that. And if you have not checked out my other channel, The Mo Show Chicago, TheMoShow Chicago, here on YouTube, by all means, go over there and view those videos and subscribe to that channel as well. Leave your feedback in the comment section. I always answer comments. So if you get a chance, leave some. I love the feedback. Respect from Vallejo, California. Oh my goodness. I love Cali. I love Cali. Fact about it, I used to stay in Cali. SD all the way. But Vallejo, I had a friend that stayed in the valley down there, and his name was Randy Wicks. Military guy. We were both in the military. I haven't heard from him in a while, but he stayed down there in Vallejo. Randy Wicks. So if you know Randy Wicks, put him on to the MOPOWERZ. And I want to thank you all for viewing. I thank you, 1968. And like I say, I will be here for 90 days to see how my numbers raise or don't raise. But we know with positive energy that they will. Thanks for viewing, you all. It's your brother, the MOPOWERZ, where knowledge is power. Remember, it is your third eye that makes you shine like Jerry. And if you haven't done so already, press the subscribe button, view the videos. See you tomorrow, you all. Peace out.